men do a lot in women's lives. Men take care of women. I mean, we all take care of each other, but come on,
Well,
men
yeah,
do a whole lot. Speaking from
obviously.
a woman that has a father, a man in her life, I know that men do a whole lot for women. We can't do without each other.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they need our softness. They need, what do you need?
Yeah,
Men, what do you
yeah. So,
need?
talking about
Talk to
softness,
us. What do you
it's not
need?
because there's no softness. The softness is
Talk to
there.
me like you're talking to
This
1,000 women out there.
the softness is there already, but
Yes.
because will I say this gender, okay,
Hey
women,
God.
they are just wicked naturally. So because even when you see these men, even when you see that
Where do
this
you
person
think?
is
Where,
struggling,
I'm going to
you
argue
still
with you
want
on
to
this one.
drag the
No,
person
I'm going to
because
argue
you
with you
want
on
the
this
person
one
to
because
be a
where
man.
do you think the term Yoruba demon came from?
See,
Men are also wicked.
yes.
What are
Well,
we talking about? So, before we started the show, you made mention of something that I would love to bring on the show.
okay.
You legit said that men are not serious. What did you mean by that?
Okay. I said men are not serious because, yes, we like to have fun. We are not serious, not because we are not serious, but because we just like to enjoy life, unlike the other genders.
Which gender?
I just say other genders. Well, the women who just we like to shop life, we like to have fun, watch football, go out, and all. And I think that's why this topic that we are going to talk about today is very, very important.
I understand. So, but I do not intend to drag this for too long. But for the sake of pettiness
Okay.
and being a woman,
Okay.
I would like to understand what you're really talking about. Are you saying that women do not like to chop life? Because from my own point of view, if I look at women even know how to enjoy life and even spend money more than men.
Well, I'm not sure that is why we are here, but to really buttress my point, if you have a woman and a man in a household, there's a lot of restriction when it comes to the other gender. But for men,
Why do you keep saying other gender, by the way?
okay. So, for women, because now we know a lot of genders, and
Oh, that's
yeah,
true. That's
so
true.
I'm just
Oh.
I'm just trying to be
Other
careful.
genders. Okay, okay,
Yes,
okay,
we now
okay.
have a
The
lot of
other genders.
genders,
But
so
today we're really talking about men.
men. Yeah.
It's June, and what does that signify?
So June is the Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Yeah. So, and I'm glad that finally somebody is talking about it.
Men.
Yes.
Yes, I really appreciate that. I mean, I have a father, I have a brother, I have friends that are men, and colleagues and cousins that are men. So I think it's really a good thing that we're talking about
Yeah.
men's mental health.
Yes, it is. It is. So.
I would like you to talk about how you started Evolve and why you started Evolve.
Okay, it's a long story, but I'm going to really, really cut it short. So I started Evolve in 2022. That was after my own personal struggle, as a man while I was growing up. So I didn't really have a father figure.
Okay.
So I grew up with women, 7 women, and
Wow.
yeah, so I didn't really have that father figure. I don't have somebody to mirror to show me what a man should do, what a man should looks like, and all of those things. So for me, it was really a struggle. So in 2022, I tried to take my own life because it feels like everything was not adding up.
You tried
And
to take your life.
yes, I do. I did try it twice. So, and after trying and it didn't work, so I know that God wants me to do something after that. So that was why I created Evolve, because during my own personal struggle, I noticed that I didn't know where to turn.
Okay.
So because it was like I was alone in my race, I cannot be vulnerable, I cannot show weakness, I cannot show that I'm failing,
That's
even though
really
I was
sad,
failing
yeah.
and all of that. So that was why we created Evolve. so that we can create a space for men, a safe space where men can come and just be vulnerable.
Vulnerable.
Yeah.
So how's that been?
Well, it's been tough because first off, you are talking about a topic that has a stereotype. Mental health in general, even in women, has stereotype. You can't call your parents and say, I'm struggling, I have mental health issue, Then you are not dealing with a gender that had been trained to man up.
Man up, that's the
Man
word.
up, that's the
Yes.
word. You cannot be weak. While we're growing up and maybe you went outside and somebody beat you at school and you came back crying and they are beating you again, telling you you'll be man now, why are you crying? All of those things. So we are working against those two factors. So it's been a tough journey, but do I enjoy it? Yes, because we have a course here.
I'm happy. I'm happy that you're doing this for men. I mean, creating a space where men can feel vulnerable. First, I think the most important thing for people to know is that whether you're a man or a woman, or you're a he, a her, or the other genders, to show weakness doesn't mean that you are weak.
Okay.
Do you think first that the society is the one that is playing that that role? What do you think is at fault here? Why do you think men do not easily show their weakness or their vulnerability? Do you think it has anything to do with ego, or do you think it has something to do with the society? What exactly do you think the problem is?
Okay, just like you said, you are human before you are either a man or a woman or other genders. But while we are growing up, there is already a template already in every household. From the household, it goes to the community. From the community, it goes to the society, then the nation, then the world in general. Because it's not a Nigeria problem.
It's not a Nigerian. It's not location based.
No, it's not location based. It's a general problem everywhere. I thought it was a Nigeria problem before traveling out. So, in the house, there is always focus on the female child. They don't want you to, just like when we're talking about seriousness, they don't want you to go out, they want to guide you, they want to shield you, they don't want you to get pregnant early, they don't want you, all of those things. But so they leave men alone to figure it all out themselves.
Wow.
Some men have been responsible for their life since as young as 5,
without
6,
any
7,
guidance.
without any guidance, because your parents believe that you are a man. It's just natural. You are a man. You are going to find a way out. So that's where it all started from. Then, for someone who has been told or who has been showed how to live their life while they are young, so you expect some sort of ego. You expect some sort of, I've been doing this now. You can't just by myself. You can't just come and tell me how to do it or how not to do it. So it's just, these are the things that build into the way men react most of the time, because you can't just come and tell me, me that I've been responsible for my life.
You can't tell me what to do.
Yes, I've been responsible for my life for a very long time, since childhood, and you are telling me to adjust. You are telling me to be weak. Meanwhile, I don't carry arms since. You get, so it's from the household, then it all goes up.
All the way to the society, then the nation, then how people perceive you, and all. Wow. But I would say that I'm happy that I'm a woman. Yes, I'm really happy that I'm a woman, because I don't think that's easy. And another question I would like to ask is, how do you think that we can change that mindset, and what is Evolve doing to change that?
Okay, that's a very big question, but I'll try as much as possible to just break it into pieces. Firstly, how we can change that. So, thank God that we that are not growing up, we are becoming more intentional, unlike our fathers.
Because they would never admit it.
Yes, they
that
would
they had
never.
a problem.
No, they will not.
Or they needed a shoulder to cry.
To cry, yes. So, but now men are also seeing a need to go into self-care, general wellness, and all of those things. So, which makes sense. So, it starts with individual. You need to first of all identify that you have problem, you are struggling.
Yeah.
So how to stop it is still going to go back to the household.
Hmm.
So that's why every father now should know when to be available in their children's life. Because it's easy for women because the women are always available, but we have a lot of absent fathers.
The women feel like it's their responsibility.
Responsibility,
Yes.
but there is a role that a father is going to play in every child's life,
Yes.
especially the men, because you have to be a good father so that they can mirror you. Your first mentor in life is your father as a child. As a boy child, your first mentor is your father, because that's who you are living with. You are going to mirror their lifestyle. You are going to see how they do things, how they treat your mother, how they treat strangers, and all of those. And these are things that are going to guide how a man behaves. So you go into the society now, you see that a lot of men are working with traumas from childhood, a father that is beating the mother, just a lot of things. So we need to start from that household, and then from there, if you've trained your own boy child from your home,
Yeah.
and they go to school, they become a role model. They see things that are not bad, they try to correct. From there, it extends to the community and the society at large. So we need to start from the home. And what Evolve is doing is that, so we have a lot of programs and projects that we are currently doing. The biggest is the E-Summit. E-Summit started last year. It's a gathering of men coming together to celebrate the International Men's Day.
And how was that received when you started? That's what I would like to know.
I was so scared. I was so scared. I was like, people are not going to come out, but I'm a very, very stubborn child.
Okay.
Maybe that's another part of being a man. So I'm a very stubborn person, but we kept doing what we have to do, publicizing, and make sure that we get A-lister speakers, people that can really pull crowd and all. You get what I'm saying? And we have more than other persons in attendance, men. And I was surprised. It happened in Ikoyi, and so we have more than 100 persons.
So men turned up for that. So were they able to share their struggles?
Yes, because we had conversations around mental health. We had a conversation about toxic masculinity. We had conversation around health in general. Prostate cancer, cervical cancer is now another big issue in men's life. So we have a lot of conversation around men and their struggle in general. And the E-Summit now gave birth to Menscape. So Menscape is a physical gathering where men come together. Nothing serious, like I said. We are not a serious man. We just come together to come and share our story, share our struggle, go away. It's like a safe space. Away from everything that is happening outside the world. So you just
away from the women's gaze.
Well, if that's what is meant here, then maybe you got it right.
From the women's gaze, because another thing that I would like to say is that I realized that men don't like to even look weak in front of other women. Men sometimes would show their weakness to maybe sometimes their fellow man. But when it comes to showing their weakness to women, they shy away from it totally.
Just like I said, so I don't know if I can go ahead to ask my question now, because
do.
For you as a woman, you just imagine that seeing a man cry. You see a man that's okay, let's assume maybe he's your boyfriend, and you see this man crying. How are you going to feel? How are you going to react?
Okay, that's a valid question, a very good one. I think I might have, to be honest, I don't want to speak from being a very sensitive woman point of view, but I feel like 30% of me will first say that why is he crying? Is he not a man?
Okay.
Like,
why
are you crying? Do you understand? But the other part of me that is sensitive, those were my thoughts before I even opened my mouth. But because if he's my man, and because I obviously love him, then I'll come to him gently and ask, why are you crying? Because it's weird to see men cry.
But what would have happened is that your 30% would have sent him off, because it should have been on your face. It should have been in your body language.
My body language.
And everything. And what that is going to do is that it's going to send it back to his shop.
Dissuade him. I
and
understand.
that's it. It will never come back. It will be very, very hard for that kind of a man to come and trust you back.
Oh wow. Okay, so what would you advise that women do in the situation where they see men that decide to be vulnerable? Because we are also not used to vulnerable men. We're not used to, the word would not be weak men,
Oh my
but we're not
God.
used to seeing our men crying. Like, we women can decide now that if you tell a woman to shut up now, she can go to the corner and
And
start.
start
In
crying.
fact, she might start from processing the shut up to before she starts crying. Do you understand? And you are handing her a tissue every now and then. Do you understand? So, how exactly do you understand? Do you feel that women? What do you think women should do more?
I think it's all about intentionality.
Intentionality.
There is no rocket science. There is no template for all of this thing in life.
Yeah.
So if you have any man in your life, maybe your boyfriend, your husband, your brother, your sister, even your father, you need to be intentional in that relationship, because for women it is easy, and that's probably because I grew up around women. They can just pick up the phone and call their other female and say, I'm struggling.
Yeah.
But a man, I cannot even call that me to say I'm struggling. That means going to ask me, are you mad? Are you
Because
a,
that's
you
what
know?
the conversation is
It's
expecting.
expecting me to
Yes.
it's expecting me to call him to go and watch football, to go to the club and drink or dance, But you need to be intentional, because most of these men are not going to say it. So you need to put yourself in that place of trust. Sometimes just asking question of, look at the way you are
I think
doing.
maybe as a woman, I would say that maybe one of the solutions would be that women should be more gentle with their men.
Yeah, because question like, why are you doing like this alone
Can make him just run back into
yeah,
that
into
shell.
that shell can be
Because
sent
in the
yeah,
first place, it's difficult for him to even
express.
express
And so he's trying to
his
express,
struggle.
and you are trying to make it feel like, oh God, you have to carry the rock on your head. You are the man, and oh yeah, so
So that answers the question to say that men don't seek mental health support
yeah,
because they will feel judged.
judge, yeah. They will be perceived as weak. You mentioned
As
it,
weak.
do you remember? A weak
Yeah.
man. So
So let me use this opportunity to apologize to all the men out there. We are really sorry. From the Association of Women, we are really sorry. Please, guys, try as much as possible to be vulnerable. Your feelings matter, and your mental health really does matter. If we're being honest, right? It really does matter, because men do a lot in women's lives. Men take care of women. I mean, we all take care of each other, but come on,
well, yeah,
men do a whole lot. Speaking from
obviously.
a woman that has a father, a man in her life, I know that men do a whole lot for women. We can't do without each other.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they need our softness. They need, what do we need?
Yeah,
Men, what do we
yeah. So
need?
talking about
Talk to us.
softness,
What do you
it's not
need?
because there's no softness. The softness is
Talk to
there.
me like you're talking to
This
1,000 women out there.
the softness is there already, but
Yes.
because, will I say, this gender, okay,
Hey
women,
God.
they are just wicked naturally. So because even when you see these men, even when you see that
Why do
this
you
person
think?
is
Why,
struggling,
I'm going to
you
argue
still
with you
want
on
to
this one.
drag the
No,
person
I'm going to
because
argue
you
with you
want
on
the
this
person
one,
to
because
be a
where
man.
do you think the term Yoruba demon came from?
See,
Men are also wicked.
yes.
What are
Well,
we talking about?
men are wicked. Women are
Yes.
wicked. Nobody is going to collect the
See,
trophy.
wickedness
But
is not gender specific.
it's not. But
My
you see,
bro.
women, hey, speaking from experience, I don't want to even go into detail. Women are wicked.
So are men.
Men are wicked too. But in this context, because the thing is sometimes is written over the man that this person is struggling. Imagine a man who is always
But
bubbly.
you guys know how to mask things well than women.
and you people don't notice.
It's not like we don't notice. Ah, God, I don't want to speak for the 1,000 women again. I just want to speak for myself now
And you people
because
don't notice
it's not
because
like
you
we don't
just.
notice, but you guys know how to mask it well.
Okay, let me ask another question.
Please do.
So, to you, who is a man?
A man is the man is the shoulder.
Yes, that
Do you
carries
understand? That
everything.
carries, yes. I mean, because that's what we know. Even from inception and from creation, we did not. They said they removed us from you
From the
people's
rib.
rib now. Please, we want to live soft life, so please. And I'm
And the
speaking
man should
for
die.
no. I'm not saying the man should die, but me, I'm also now speaking for the 1,001 million women out there that women love soft life.
Yeah.
Yes. If you see any woman that has become like really hard, really strong, really resilient, see, it is via training. Like she did not have a choice.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think, as you said, the society, the family, everyone has a role to play.
Yeah.
I really do think everyone has a role to play. But what would you now advise us women to do?
Okay, I think for me, okay, I'm still. What women can do is just to be, I mentioned the other time, you need to be intentional, you need to be deliberate. It doesn't necessarily need to be like a sexual relationship where we are
Yeah,
boyfriend and
absolutely.
girlfriend. Maybe you are just my friend and you notice that I've just been very close to myself. I don't go out. The things are there to notice. But because women like softness, just like you just said, they just feel like, okay, this man now, are we going to this place? Are you going to buy the wig? Are you going to buy the bag or the shoe? Women are more focused on what they
Men
get,
providing
in a relationship than the man itself.
No, but I don't think, I do not intend to argue with you, but I think men are providers.
Yes, nobody is saying. I never said you are not provider, but when the provider, like I told someone today, he said is pushing it. I said when the pushing is pushing you back, please come back home. The thing is hard out there. We all know what is going on in the country.
We're talking about Nigeria now.
Yes, we all know what is going on in the country. As it's affecting the women, it's affecting the men too, and it's affecting us double because. Me now, I will not collect my salary. I will not think of my girlfriend.
Of course.
Alongside
You don't want
other.
to think of your girlfriend.
No, so that's what I'm saying.
Your salary alone.
So that's what I'm saying. That it's not double on me. So you should be considerate.
But you don't want to be single either.
Yes, I don't want to be single either. So you should be considerate. If I say, okay, this month now 5K day, and the other month I've been doing 100K. So it's just check and balance and try to also understand the where the men are coming from. Somebody was asking me a question that, like, when you are broke, like you don't have money, you are down, who do you run to? And I'm like, okay, who do I run to?
You run to your fellow man now.
I run to God.
Oh, to God. Okay.
I run to God.
I thought you run to your fellow man.
Which fellow man? The also fellow man that is also struggling. Yeah. But women, you run to men.
Well, that's why there's that term. They say man to man.
See, if I call any of my friend, maybe now, Sha, because they know what I'm doing. But let's say like 2-3 years back, if I call any of my friend and I say, I say I go climb tomorrow, I say go climb now.
Because they're not taking you seriously.
So where is
but
the
if
man
I call
to
my
man?
friend, you see, that's why you need to tell you. In fact, you have a lot of job and work to do with evolve. You need to also tell men. Do you understand? To listen. Yes, they need to listen to their fellow men. Right. If I'm a man and I call my fellow guy, to let him know that Baba, I won't buy you. Because if it's a woman, if I call my girlfriend and tell her, babe, I feel like committing suicide, she's
running.
She's springing into action. So you guys should also try to listen, to educate each other. I think, and that's where I feel like you are doing a really great job with Evolve. But ask women. I think one thing you need to also do is ask women questions. so that we can tell you how we perceive you. Yes, you need to teach us what to do, right? You need to teach us to listen to you, how, you know, to make you feel comfortable while you're vulnerable. Because if you're sitting down here now and I walk in and I see you just looking down, I might be like, maybe his girlfriend has offended him. You know, women jump into conclusions.
Conclusion, yeah.
Yes, a man. I think most men are even more stable than women emotionally.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And because you guys already have that, the whole charisma, the whole
The
ego,
main
the
thing.
man thing, so I feel like that's where your NGO needs to, you need to ask women questions.
Yeah, I think really
and begin to
that
work
is
on those things.
yeah, I think really that is changing a lot.
A lot.
Because see, it's surprising to now see men come out
Wow.
to a safe space, to Menscape, to e-summit. Because
So
unlike
what are you
before,
doing this month though?
this month,
Yeah.
so basically I started the Dear Black Men series.
Wow, okay. What's that about?
I just speak from my art to black men, because it's another struggle where we talk about black men.
That's a different topic.
We are too stubborn.
Entirely.
Yeah, so we are doing that series. Then we are going to do a lot of online campaign. But we started planning the e-summit 2.0, and just like you said, ask women. So we are going to have a panel just for women, just to ask questions.
Because
really,
when you get the answers from us, you can then begin to work on
around
what needs
to be
change,
done, and all of those. Yeah, so that's it basically. But just like I said, it can only get better. When we started in 2022 and we wanted to go to a school, the principal told us that we want to come and start homosexuality club.
Oh wow.
In their school. But now we've been to several schools, we've been to several community, we've been to several church, mosques, just to enlighten them about what we are doing. So going forward, it's really, really going to get better. And I really wish, and I'm praying that women can also support men in this their journey. It's not easy. It's a heavy weight that you cannot carry alone.
We can't.
You cannot carry alone. So
but we're here to help you.
I don't know. I'm not sure of that though. But then
I'm speaking for the women.
Men also, let's help ourselves, because nobody is coming to save us. So we need to be intentional. And now when I see people take care of themselves, maybe I should ask you, because I've had a conversation with one of my ex and one of my exes, and so she saw me using face cream, moisturizer, toner, and all of those, and I'm using it because I actually have sunburn and I'm trying to treat it. And even apart from that, if you walk into a room or you visit your boyfriend, and you see this man doing self-care.
I love men that are groomed, well groomed. So I think you're asking the wrong person, because for me, basically, if you're not a man that grooms well, I'm not even going to be with you in the first place. So,
but do you know female doesn't like it? We've seen a lot of it online,
for
and
the women that love it. That
but
love
most of the
well-groomed
women does not like it, because even online, when all this self-care, all these people, when they put on their advert and all, you start seeing people commenting.
No, because I think what you're talking about here, I think the problem might be that people are beginning to get used to it bit by bit. They're not used to seeing a man come online and saying, get ready with me, now I'm going to apply my...
But we were not used to seeing women. My mother did not do it. I'm sure your mother did not do it too. So he came and we accepted it.
But you cannot compare the amount of women who do self-care. Because see, let me just tell you before the end of this show, that's what women really care about. That's why it's easier for you to see a woman that would date a man that is unkept but has plenty money.
God, I beg.
Do you understand? So really I just said it. Anyways, it's nice to have you on this show. I really enjoyed, our little conversation. But I would love, before you leave, I would love you to say one or two words. First, to the men out there.
Okay.
As a word of advice for, Vulnerability.
So when we talk about male friendship, it's not as intense like the women friendship,
Yeah.
because for men it's just, most of this friendship doesn't extend where it happened, like okay, in the club where we are watching football or any sports, in the workspace and all, even in school, and so it's not as intense. So it's hard to say what role it plays. But for those who are friends, real friends around them, I think the role it can play is, first of all, the person in question must be willing to accept help. And then the friends as well. When we are two men, we are always very, very lackadaisic when it comes to things like
Lackadaisical,
this.
yeah.
So we just, you are struggling, okay, take beer, you know, instead of asking question to really know if this person is really struggling, and see how you can help. Sometimes I used to tell people, you don't even need to provide a solution to their problem. Sometimes just listen
Listening
to it
alone, yeah.
would make the weight lighter in their
Men,
yes.
are
So
you listening? Listen.
yes, listen. Also, be in a place of vulnerability. Don't try to be the superhero. Don't try to be the Superman. Yes,
Superman.
but then also men also cry.
Men also cry.
We
Wow.
if we get a blade now and cut my flesh and cut yours
You
too,
bleed. We
I'll
all
bleed.
bleed.
We all
Yeah.
bleed. I have
Absolutely.
water, blood run through my veins.
Yeah.
So if I go through pain, it is expected that I react to that pain.
Yes, that reminds me of an incident when, we lost our mom while we were younger. My father, I never saw him cry. There was no time that I saw him have tears
Yes.
while I was crying every day.
Yes.
Do you understand? My brother, the only day I even saw one tiny tear drop, and he was doing his face like this. I'm telling you. God.
Because it's not normal.
Because it's not
It's not normal. Like, it's not.
Why?
Because the society, just
No,
like you said.
I think that has to change.
Yes.
I really do
Yes,
think that
it
has
has
to
to
change.
change.
For you, what do you think is the advice that you would give men out there? What advice would you really give? Like, if you're going to give one advice to men based off vulnerability, what would you say to them, and taking care of their mental health? Because men's mental health is very important. It matters.
So if I'm going to give men one advice,
Yeah.
say, nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to save you. So if you have this at the back of your mind, you know that when you are dying, you need to speak up. Just like mental health is just like me I have malaria.
Tell them.
And I'm not treating it.
Yes, tell
I'm
them.
having headache and I'm still on the road, still struggling and bubbling, thinking it's going to disappear. It's not going to disappear. You need to address the issue. So if you have any issue, if you are struggling, speak to someone. And if you don't have that person in your space that you can speak to, that's what Evolve is trying to do. And a couple of my friends, Yemi, Ashobele Dawe, we've come together to found Menscape. This is a safe space. You are running away for everything that is happening in the world. You are coming there to rant. You are coming there to just be a man, and not, we say a man cannot be weak. You cannot struggle. You cannot cry. Come and cry. We listen, we don't judge. So it's a safe space for you to
So
join.
thank you. You're doing a great job. I'll say you're
Thank
really
you.
doing a great job, because not a lot of men would think first about their mental health.
Yeah.
And because it's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, we say that, guys, men out there, please do take care of yourself.
Nobody's
You
coming
can
to
reach
save
out
you.
to Evolve. What's your
Yeah.
social media handles?
Okay, so our website is evolve, that's HEVOLVE.org, and across all social media, we're on Instagram, Facebook, X, and LinkedIn.
Yeah.
It's evolve, HEVOLVE. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Rilwan. We really appreciate that you came on the show, and I hope that men would follow you, and I hope that you continue to do more good work out there.
We
Well
try our
done.
best. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you so much for coming to the show.
Yeah, thank you.